Now, Kathy, I just love the Queen Anne features of this house. Of course, the turret is simply wonderful with those fish scale shingles and that onion dome, and then the Victorian gingerbread work. And is that window in a closet?
It is.
And you know, that's typical of houses of this era. Windows in closets. Several of the homes I've done have had windows in the closets, and that has stained glass, and those they nearly always do. Is that not interesting?
It is.
And there are bay windows around on the side too, and that's a Queen Anne, typical of Queen Anne construction too. The bays up and down.
Yes.
And tell that neat story about the porch. The porch is so great. It wasn't screened, and tell why you screened it in.
Well, we screened it in several years ago, or I'd say probably 5 years ago, because I like to take a nap in that swing out there.
Oh, and you have that.
And I don't want the traffic coming by to see me, so we screened it in.
Oh, and your furniture is just conducive to a nice leisurely afternoon. And you know, Kathy, I think it's wonderful this house was transferred from the Cherokee Nation to Daisy Jones in 1905. And she had it for 5 years, and then it was sold to Owen Goddard, who was an early day grocerman here. And his name just floors me. Oscar Napoleon Goddard, and his wife was Anna Missouri Goddard. I thought my name was strange, but that's just really so interesting. And they were here 13 years, and then you and David have been here 14, so you've been here in this home the longest of any of the owners.
Okay.
And it is so charming. And the big window in your front parlor with the stained glass, and we'll want to look at the transom over the exterior door that's off the porch.
Okay.
Kathy, this is the door into the front parlor, is it not?
It is.
And I love it. The decorative features, the Greek key design here, the letter drop. You said that's original. And the wonderful decorative features around the panels. This is just great. And shall we walk on into the front parlor?
The front parlor.
Kathy, I love the front parlor. And you pointed out something about the light fixtures that I think are so neat. 1930s, because Tahlequah didn't have electricity until about 1920. And all your collections in the parlor, and then the closing doors walk right on into your living room. And they have the original face plates and porcelain knobs. And in here, there are some pieces that I want you to talk about if you're willing to do that.
Certainly.
Kathy, tell us about this lock, which is engraved. I love it.
Oh, this is one of the original metal locks, and pull this little lever, push it up, and it locks the door. It has some privacy, and then that one pulls right into it and fastens with it. So you can entirely isolate this room from the rest of the house.
Because just across the room are the pocket doors, and we want to get it over there to look at those too. Okay. Kathy, these are the original pocket doors, and it's the brass work. Is that original?
As far as I know it is.
It looks like original brass work that I've seen on other pocket doors, and that means that this room can be closed off for privacy.
Yes, it can. It probably was a courting room in the old days.
I expect the doors were left open just a little bit so Mom and Dad could keep an eye on, Mother and Father could keep an eye on
the courting couples.
That's right, yes. And you mentioned to me earlier some things on this in this corner bookcase, and I want us to look at those.
Okay.
Kathy, this is an attorney's bookcase, and tell us about this piece on top.
Well, it's called a dressing mirror, a dressing table mirror, because it's one of those that's not connected to the table itself. In the old days, they didn't have the one-piece sets. A lady could keep her cosmetics in the top drawer, and her hairbrush and her comb, or a gentleman could keep his razor in there for shaving.
And I love this piece. Tell us about this.
That little picture was a birthday gift from one of my children. It's Japanese design. It was made in England, but it's Japanese design, or Oriental design, I should say, and probably from the 1920s.
And this piece has an unusual significance for you all.
It does. We think that it could either be a piece from the 70s when people were really into making their own pottery, or it could be a unique piece from the North and South Carolina area where they made the face jugs. We don't know yet. We haven't been able to find any information about it.
Well, it is a neat piece, and it does look like those features on the face jugs. And of course, the lamp. Tell us about that.
The lamps are probably from the 1920s also, again, Oriental design. And the shade is a pagoda, almost a pagoda shaped shade with the beads on it, and the all of it is original except the frame, except the material on the shade has been replaced.
Well, Kathy, it's time for a commercial break, and don't go away, we'll be right back.